Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave Ti. I'm here with Greek Target. He's been targeted since 2005. And he came to share his testimony and talk about some important stuff that needs to be talked about. Um, but at first, the first question I want to ask you, Greek, have you been people are saying that we pay people to do interviews, or we force people, or coerce them, or trick them, or talk them into it. Has any of that happened?
No way. The reason I'm here is the respect I have for your work, your channel. You have the greatest contribution in the TI community, I think.
Well, thank you. I try to keep it genuine, and that's why, I don't, I'm not very popular because I'm not with the TI organizations or falling in line with them. I'm totally independent because I feel like, if what's being said about these people are true and they are screwing people over, and I have them on my show or support them, then anybody who has any faith in me at all, I'm hurting them as well, because I'm contributing to their downfall. Uh, so
There
I
is
don't, I
no,
cannot confirm or deny whether these organizations are doing people wrong, but from stuff that's been shown to me and stuff, I just can't take a risk.
there is absolutely no legal way out of this right now. I've been
That's
to eight
facts.
lawyers, eight lawyers. Um, Now I'm in Europe, I'm in Greece. So what we concluded is that I have to appeal to the UN. So appealing to UN is a $30,000 lawsuit, you know, and you don't know the result. UN is a very corrupted organization, so there's absolutely no legal way.
Now James Martinez says you can claim in the U.S. you can claim and be a national, become a national, revoke your citizenship, and he says he's got a document to do that. Now, when he comes on, when he comes on, I'm going to ask you more about that.
Yes, but nobody can assure you that big tech and big pharma are not going will stop targeting you.
Exactly. I think the same way, and that's why I don't go on the false hope train. We just learn ways to deal with it, and get by on a day-to-day basis. Because you better believe they play chess. And chess, you think three or four moves ahead. And Sabrina Wallace even said it in her video that they've already thought of the lawsuits and all that, and already got documentations covering their butt in that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Also, I've heard that Obama has passed a law in the US which is legal to experiment on you.
Right.
Can you imagine?
And this is for educational purposes.
You
Yeah.
know,
So
you go to the court and they say they made me a lab rat, experiment, and the judge will say, it's legal. This is how crazy is this? There is
right.
absolutely
But you
no
do have
way.
lawsuits that may. I just don't. If they're really finding stuff in their body. I think that may be some kind, that can be traced back, supposedly. What do you think
Yes,
about
but
that?
all communications are compromised. So when you call the doctor to do the scan, the doctor will be notified. All the medical industry is in the game. I've never
No,
heard.
no, no, no. You got people in America doing scans on targeted individuals and finding stuff in their body.
I know, I've seen it.
Now,
Mind,
now,
Mind Nexus.
yeah, he's one of them. Uh, now I've heard it's not upholdable in court. And you know, once
Nobody
again,
ever has done something in court. Is that
right.
right? Even finding the implants is not the solution to this problem.
Right. Well, it helps a lot of people to prove to other people, look, this is going on, you know. Now, does it have any validity in court? You know, I don't want to say no or yes because from you know, I just know about government provocateurs, and I'm just very careful about uh, you know, promoting anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because then if you promote it and then it turns out to be some kind of scam and or you know, if I was to go on and say everybody go get scanned and then they get to court and then it's not, then everybody's gonna be mad at me. You know. Now there's now he's not the only one that does scans. There's a guy in Utah that does them.
I know,
And
I
I would
know.
like to be scanned, but you know, from from what I just I haven't heard too much good stuff, you know. So I'm not talking bad or good about the person. Uh, but I've heard the
No,
guy.
the only solution I found in this is buying a jammer.
Right,
The best jammers are in China.
and they work,
So
huh? Now,
yes,
jammer's illegal in the United States, ain't it?
everywhere in Europe
Oh,
as
okay.
well. But you buy it at your own risk, let's say. I bought a $1,000 portable 24 band jammer. It blocks everything. Even the TV remote is not working. You know, the garage, the control to the
Wow,
garage door. Nothing wireless works. But listen, what are they gonna do if you do this? Uh, they got into my sleep and they damaged the jammer. When I reordered another one, uh, it was damaged before I got it from the post office. So they
wow.
compromised all communications. They know what you're buying. They managed to not get it.
Right. But if anybody, you know, um, let's just clear this up right now. Um, you know, I have not done enough research on. Well, I'm not going to say. I'm just going to watch what I say here because you know, if anybody has any good advice about or proof that scans can be used in court, um, and wants to give it to me, you know, then you know, I'd be, you know, but scans really is just, in my opinion, is just good for showing people that this is real. Um, and then you know, I've talked to somebody who had a scan, and now, ever since they got scanned and found out where the stuff was, now they're in deep depression and crying all the time and worried. You know, now they're obsessing over where the scans are, and it just made their targeting worse after they found out. You know.
I know, I know. And the root cause, in my opinion, of this problem is getting in your sleep. Because if they are able to get in your sleep, then even removing the implants will not do anything. You know, they will get in your sleep and reimplant you.
Now, me and well, you already know about this probably. Uh, this does work to some extent. Um, stun gun EMP.
Yes, I know from Onion Head,
Yeah,
Andrew.
but you really got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and because they're constantly spraying the atmosphere. You know.
Yes. On the other hand, nanotechnology is everywhere in the food, in the atmosphere, everywhere.
Right.
Uh, yes, I
So
know. So, one of the most important things, I believe, is solving the sleep problem, which is huge.
oh
Let's
yeah,
understand.
because the less sleep you get, the more heavy the attacks are.
No, I mean getting in your deep sleep.
Are you talking like, yeah, like getting plenty of rest?
No, no, I'm not talking about that. When you are in deep sleep, they get in your bedroom. They're doing hypnosis, they're implanting, they might be doing organ trafficking.
Oh, okay, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Uh,
So this is
yeah,
one
for
of the greatest problems. if you live alone, this problem cannot be solved.
Right.
Ted Kaczynski was he was a genius from Harvard. He was the Unabomber, if you've heard about him.
Oh yeah.
So he knew he was an MK Ultra experiment. So what did he do? He was living alone, of course. He went to live off grid to solve this problem. I'm telling you, because there is an agency which is planning to get in your bedroom. Listen, when you are, we talked about the sources. Who is doing this? It's the big pharma and big tech. They've merged together for transhumanism. So they have, when they select you to be an experiment, you are an asset for them. They employ the state, and they have unlimited funds. They are even able to dig tunnels to get in your bedroom, if you know what I mean. It's
Right.
so one solution to this is, of course, if you have someone, don't sleep together at the same time. That's a great solution and makes the life very difficult. If you live alone, you have to be off grid.
Right. I believe that. I just want to say one more thing before. I'm not telling nobody to not get scanned. I'm just saying, watch, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what you're doing, be aware of who's scanning you. Do your research before you just go and believe anybody's words and stuff like that. Really research and watch these people. Because I'm sorry, I think my opinion is if anybody's really making a difference in this or really a threat, they're not going to be they're not going to be popular at all. They're going to be shadow banned everywhere they go, ever turn, and they're not going to let no information, they're going to shut it down. Any real threat to the, you know?
Yes, they have not only they have compromised all communications of targets, but they control all social platforms.
All right.
CIA is behind big tech. Everything is CIA. Facebook, X, Google, everything.
Right.
So yes, they will not let it out. Definitely.
Right. So that's what I asked myself. Like, look at all these popular people in the community and all that. Well, if they were really a threat, they wouldn't let them do nothing. They wouldn't let them be popular. You see?
Yes, of course. Of course. What we know is that all these tech geniuses, they're just frontmen for the CIA.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk,
And that's why
the
they hit my
Google
channel in
duo.
September. It says I have 6,500 subscribers. Well, I looked at my channel one day. I got 3,500 subscribers in one night, and ain't one of them watched a video. Why? To make me look like I'm some popular person. When really, if you look at my views, I'm only getting 500 views, maybe a video, and that's maybe on a video, and maybe more over time. But you see what I'm saying? They flooded my channel with subscribers to make me look like I'm some popular person, but I'm not.
Yes, or they might be bots. Well, the internet is full of bots.
Right.
AI, no, AI pretending to be people. It's full of it. They control everything. Your views, your
Yep.
subscribers, everything. Now, my point is about the scans. First, the root cause of the problem is deep sleep. Because, this experiment is based on that humans need to sleep for 8 hours. They will do everything to get in your sleep. So having access to your body, it's not only having access to your body, they have access to your devices, so they can compromise them. So
Right.
solving, let's say you remove the implants, which nobody has ever done. Next day, if they get in your sleep, next day It will be reimplanted.
Right, but they don't even need implants. They have a way where they can get your neural signature, or they can track you by DNA now. This technology is so advanced that if they got your DNA or your neural signature, they can tap in your brain.
I know.
But the atmosphere is constantly being with nano, smart dust, and all that. I understand that. I'm just saying they really don't need that at the end of the day. And you're right though. In your sleep, um, especially for targets who are alone. But another thing I wanted to hit on is uh, a lot of people trying to think what I was gonna say. Uh, they can like I threw my phone away for 30 days and was still being followed everywhere and everything tracked and everything. Why? Because my neural signature or my DNA had been obtained. And Brian Cofer talked about this before he went uh, wherever he went, whatever happened to him. He was talking about total individual control technology, which was using your DNA to target you. You know,
Yes, no.
it's kind of like cell phones. If
Yes.
yeah,
Cell phone towers are a great part of this.
right. But you could take down all the cell phone towers, and you could still be targeted.
Have you tried this?
What?
Uh, Trying to escape from an area without cell phone towers?
Um, I was in a, I was in Louisiana, way, way, way away from cell phone towers with no phones or nothing for like 20 days, and I still got V2K very bad, and I didn't get dues, but you got to understand, I was in the a Chapelai Basin, which is a swamp, like deep in the swamp, lost. So, um, yeah, I got V2K, but I did not get the direct energy attacks, and there was no power lines around. That's how deep I was. I was miles and miles away from anything. No power lines, no cell towers, no nothing. But I still heard V2K, but I did not get the direct energy attacks.
There is a website on the internet, I don't remember the name now, where you can see all cell phone towers in the world.
I
Uh,
just know Sabrina put a post up the other day saying even if you took out the 5G tower, even if the 5G towers were to get took out or something, you would still be targeted.
yes, but what I was about to say that there isn't a place in the world except Georgia, I think, in the States, uh, uh, without cell phone towers now. You know, I live in a small island in Greece,
Right, right,
2,000 people population, and we've
right.
got 25 cell phone towers.
Wow.
Um, no, the only way to get in a place now without having coverage in your phone from cell phone towers, there are two ways. The first way is getting a boat. There are in the open sea, there are many areas which don't have coverage. Uh, the
Right.
second way, the second way is getting into uh, an underground parking, or going underground. I found an underground parking in Athens, and I went to the seventh floor of an underground parking, right? There was absolutely no signal there. And the stalking, the surveillance team went mad.
That's
Uh,
why you see them in movies. You know how your CIA and all them people in the movies always go to them underground parking garages to talk.
yes,
Yeah, makes sense.
these are the two ways now. Going underground, the easiest way is an underground parking, and going to the open sea.
Right.
Otherwise, you have cell phone towers. Even in Iran,
Well, there's
even
places in America way out that you don't have cell phone service.
I don't know. If you see the map, have a look at I've studied this map, trying to find areas without cell phone towers.
Louisiana in the swamp. Now you got to go way in the swamp, which is almost impossible unless you walk through water and cross a lot of sloughs and stuff. But way back in there, there's no coverage. Now that was in
Yes,
2018. I don't know about now. Now may be different, you know.
it's full. It's full. Even in rural
I believe
areas,
you.
you can't avoid this thing. Very difficult.
Right.
Uh, that's
Well,
why that's why going off grid if you are alone is a good idea.
right. And see, I'm not gonna lie. When I was lost in the swamp, I guess due to all the trauma and stuff and the stalking and all the trauma I'd been put through, I still heard V2K, but being around nature and absorbing and laying on the swamp floor and just laying down, just knowing I was away from all that concrete jungle city and was peaceful, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah. So
The
what
the
you're saying
the
though is
less
they're basically trying to make it impossible to even be safe off grid.
yes, almost impossible. Very few areas. If you study this map, I'm telling you, you'll see that they're everywhere now on the land.
Right.
I only found one country in Africa. It's called Eritrea, which has 6 to 7% cell phone usage from the whole population. That's the only place I found with the less cell phone towns, not without.
Wow.
Eritrea in Africa. Yeah, they're the most primitive country in the world, or North Korea, but you can't go there.
Right. Well, can you give us like a background on yourself, like what your life was like before targeting and what it's like now, and how all
It's
this came to be about for you?
it's paradise and hell, my friend. I was coming from a wealthy family. I was driving fancy cars, have plenty of friends and girlfriends, and I was doing, the best life ever. And after I was targeted, my life became a disaster.
So do you know why you were targeted?
No, the beginning of the overt targeting, let's say, it coincides with a contact I had with the psychiatric community. Now, back in 2003, I had a drinking problem. My mother had a drinking problem. So I had to find psychiatrists and psychologists because it was very big problem. It was the last stage, the drinking problem. And so I had to put my mother in rehab, for 1 month, just to. And when I come into contact with these people, psychiatrists, psychologists, then I was targeted. Also, they sent me a honeypot, a psychologist honeypot. So uh, we met the first day. I was trying to find help for my mother, what to do, how to solve this problem. And we went to bed the first day we met. And guess what? She was older than me. She got pregnant.
The psychiatrist?
The psychologist, yes.
Yeah,
And she was a honeypot.
I believe it.
So then, I paid for the child to be born, with all the stuff. After the child was born, she didn't want to. She ended the relationship.
Wow. Now, is there any techniques or anything you noticed that she was doing on you during while y'all together? Or you said she was a honeypot. Could you kind of explain for the viewers kind of like what she did or stuff like that?
Yes, yes, definitely, because we were living together for a little while. I definitely had, uh, during my deep sleep, this MK Ultra hypnosis. Definitely.
So
And then
do
I
you
was,
think she thinks she was doing stuff while you were asleep?
yes, yes, definitely. Also, I started getting overt, aggressive gang stalking. You know what I mean?
Yes, very much.
It's psychological torture. This is not surveillance. For 20 years straight. No,
Yeah, you're
never,
talking about
never
where
ending.
they stalk you so bad, you think there's a hit on you and that they're going to get you at any time.
Yes, the first thing is you're afraid of your life.
Yep, been there.
First thing, yes, but they,
And
they
that
don't want to kill you.
and it traumatizes you big time. It's very damaging psychologically.
Yes, and then I discovered that they get in my deep sleep. So I started recording sleeps. I was hiding an iPhone then, uh, and I was audio recording my sleeps. I wake up one day, I was listening to the recording, and they got in the house where I was. There was an alarm. There were deadbolts in all doors and windows. The
Wow.
alarm was connected to a security company. So they were watching my house 24 hours. So they managed to bypass every security I had. They got in with sleeping gas, my friend. The first thing I've heard in the recording is sleeping gas and bubbles. Then I was listening to bags opening, zips opening, and they injected me with something I don't know. And they also took a ride with my car. Then I go to the police station with the recording. It's hard evidence. And what they told me was that an audio recording is not proof for the court. Anyway, I couldn't find a solution, even if I had hard evidence. Also, they had fun of me. Oh, the police isn't not doing anything, not responding. Possibly the police is organizing the whole thing.
Right. Now, John Hall, who wrote Guinea Pigs, he's an anesthesiologist in Texas, but he wrote the book Guinea Pigs. His girlfriend, um, was being taken advantage of in her sleep. And they were getting in every night, and she was barricading doors and everything. So he set up security cameras. What they were doing was, what he found out they were doing was they were mind controlling her to wake up and let these people in. Then they would do whatever they wanted to her and do this to her, and she wouldn't remember nothing. Then she would wake up in the morning and realize it had been done to her, and wonder how they got in. You see, but the cameras proved that she was opening up, letting them in, and
Yes,
then
I've
they were
seen
doing all this stuff to her against her will, and she didn't remember nothing. She would wake, and then they would leave her in her bed. She would wake up and think, "Well, how'd they get in?" I'm
they
not
made
saying
her
that's
a
what's happening
robot.
in your case. I'm just saying that's one case I've read about.
What I got from the audio recording is sleeping gas.
Right.
So if I was a robot, there wouldn't be any reason for sleeping gas. Yes, John Holt, is Guinea Pigs is one of the greatest books. I've read this book. It's great. It's not referring to the incident you told me in the book, but it's
I think he
referring
talks
about
about
this.
that in a interview with somebody or satellite terrorism for America. Maybe he talks about it in that book, or maybe he talked about it in an interview. But he did talk about it. I heard him. I either heard him or read it.
So what I did next is I was living alone. I went to an uncle. He was a very powerful uncle. He was very high at the World Bank. Was very rich and had a security system, a very good security system. And I was recording sleeps to my aunt's house as well. And they got in my aunt's house.
Wow.
So no, this
So
thing they
you
are
have no clue how they were getting in.
absolutely no. They were using sleeping gas. They were using anesthesia.
What about tunnels under the floor?
This problem I had in another house. I was listening to sounds under the floor. It wasn't a flat. It was a house, a mansion, let's say. So yes, but it's so difficult. They might be doing something like an entrance through the tiles, and you have to break all the tiles to find it. They're
Right.
so good. They're so good at getting in your sleep. You can't imagine. This is done coordinated by the police through an agency.
Right.
Also,
And we
if
had
you
somebody
see,
write a comment that I was supposed to read on my last live. It says this person lives in their van, but they put if you use long-lasting packing tape and cut slits in it, connect door or window to door frame. Make cuts, and if the tape is ripped in the AM, it means the door or window was open. And let me see if I can if
in that
if the tape,
case,
huh?
they get in your house when you're away. They study the place, and they will find plenty of ways. They're not using doors and windows. If you have locked all doors and windows, if you or put bolts on anything, they will find another way. That's so.
Right.
That's how big is this problem. Uh, and I'll tell you something else. Another story is Elon Musk. Elon Musk was targeted, and he was the richest man in the world, the most powerful man in the world, right? He could have an army guarding his house. Do you know what he did? Have you read it?
Nuh-uh.
What he did was he was sleeping at a different place every day. He was finding friends because in order to get in a place, they have first to prepare, to know the place. So if you go to a new place to sleep, it's a great problem because they haven't studied the place. They're not prepared to get in this
Right.
place.
That's why Brian too refuses to live in a house. He sleeps in his car and goes place to place.
Yes, that's a good solution. But they will hunt your car. Even if you live in an RV, they will hunt the RV.
Right. Right. Well, so could you explain how you learned about all this? How you came to find out about this target individual world or this MK Ultra and all this stuff going on?
Yes, after year of experiencing this, remote neural monitoring, gang stalking, street theater, getting in my sleep, I started searching the internet for this. And then I found that there are so many testimonies of people experiencing the same thing. Exactly.
Right.
But even if learning about this thing does not mean that you solve the problem.
No. And that's why, we've just been focused on ways to make it through the day. Like heavy metal detox, keeping, there's a new Epsom salt bath I tried yesterday called Ancient Minerals. Now we got it for $8, but it usually sells for $17. But I'm telling you, I felt grounded. My body felt refreshed, and I've used a lot of Epsom salt baths. That was the best stuff I've ever even. It's ultra pure magnesium flakes from 1,600 meters in the ground. Now Epsom salts is not a permanent solution, though. It's just a temporary solution.
Yes, I know.
But when you're talking about permanent solution, I just think the best. I really think, you know, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and I'll get yours next. My opinion is the only way to get through this is work on how to keep this stuff out of your body, and then work on maybe a project on how, uh, if you did get a scan and you find out where they're at, how to disable them. Uh,
The
even
jammer,
even
jammer
then, even then, they're still going to stalk you, and you're still going to get V2K if you do experience V2K. I just don't know. What's your opinion?
yeah, my first priority is sleep safety. Then, after you're sure that you're having a safe sleep, then you do everything else. And now, as far as the implants are concerned, a jammer, an expensive 24 band jammer blocking every wireless signal available helped me escape from the surveillance theme, helped me
And
in a
do
lot
that
of.
at your own. We're not recommending anybody do this. We're just telling you that's what works. It is illegal.
It is illegal, yes, in
So do it
Europe as
at your
well.
own risk. Yeah, we're not recommending anybody do this.
Yes, but it worked for me. But they will damage the jammer.
Right. He said that even when he used the jammer, even the remote control didn't work. Now that's the real deal right there.
Yes, if you get a 24 band, blocks every wireless signal there is. Everything. GPS, 5G, uh, everything, every Bluetooth, uh, RF, everything.
Wow.
But it's illegal. And if you get to an airport, for example, with this jammer, I'm telling you, you'll get arrested.
Right. I'd imagine so. Well, I mean, that's good to know that a jammer works, you know.
Yes, but
Let's
then
see, they know everything you do, so they're going to know if you order a jammer.
exactly, and they have compromised all communications. So what I did was I went to a friend and tell him to buy it for me.
Right.
Also, another very important thing is uh, when you talk something, if you want to talk with someone privately, it's important to leave the mobile phones behind.
Right.
Because if you talk through and you have a mobile phone near,
Being recorded.
it's not private.
Right. That's why if you're in the house, like I don't, we don't do nothing wrong in this house anyway, but I just from the trauma and stuff and not wanting people in our business. Another thing you can do is if you're in the house with somebody trying to have a conversation, you just and you could write stuff, or like you said, go to a different room and talk, stuff like that, or write stuff down with each other.
Yeah, the best thing is the underground parking.
Right. And man, you see that in all the movies, all them big CIA movies and all the movies where they hold private conversations, they'll go meet deep in a parking garage. That makes a lot of
Yes,
sense.
yes, yes. Underground.
But see, even though jammers are illegal and we're not recommending nobody get a jammer, but it's good to know it works because that's a start at where to start when you're looking at trying to disable this stuff, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it is able. I've got, I've got away from the surveillance team with the jammer.
Wow. Huh. Wow, and that's a major thing because I didn't have a phone or nothing, and I jumped a train and fell asleep on a train just to test it out, and went 3 states over, woke up 3 states over, and as soon as I got off the train, the surveillance team was there.
Yeah, I've heard this before in other interviews. So you jumped off the train and you were gangster, and the
Yeah, yeah,
battery.
like as soon as I got from the train tracks into the area, like in Shreveport in the city, right where I was walking down the road and stuff. It took about 10 minutes, but it all started. Maybe
Yeah,
20 minutes.
I remember this well.
But they probably knew what train I was on and everything.
And you didn't have a mobile phone, right?
Nope.
This is crazy. You might be implanted with a tracking device.
That or um I'm telling you DNA. They have my DNA or they have my unique neural signature. Now Sabrina says that your heartbeat even lets off a they've learned that everybody's heartbeat's unique and they can track you by your heartbeat. Now, the reason I know there's some funny business going on is because, like I said, they started the V2K and the direct energy weapons in Springfield, Missouri in 2015, and after they started it, it was my first time ever experiencing anything like that. I experienced stalking and all that, and I didn't even know what targeting was. So I'm being hit with these weapons, V2K. I'm basically, like I said, like they had it where if I was on the sidewalk, I would burn up really bad. If I stepped to the left into the grass, I burn up even worse. But if I stepped on the road, it stopped. So they were trying to make me walk into traffic, you see, because I was looking for anything for relief. I was getting hit so bad. So of course, the cops come and ask me what I'm doing, and I told them, and they searched me and everything. But what was weird is this is when I think I was connected because he asked my vitals over the walkie-talkie. They told my blood pressure, my temperature, and all that. Then they took me to, where the mental hospital to try. You know how they do. They'll cover it all up and then say, well, you need help.
I know, man, this is crazy. I was trying to migrate to another European country. I tried five. I tried Italy, France, Germany, and Netherlands. Well, everywhere I was going, I was heavily aggressive, overt stalking. And also, there was remote neural monitoring as well, because there were people telling me what I was thinking. Um,
Yeah.
Also, if I've booked a hotel, they were waiting for me there. So what I did was one day, oh, plenty of times actually, uh, I was stopping at a random hotel and tried to get in there. And what they did was the receptionist was delaying me. He was always the receptionist was receiving a call. So she got instructions to delay me, and they wanted to get in my room first. They were waiting for the surveillance team to arrive. The surveillance team took the keys. The receptionist was delaying me. They got in the room, uh, probably to study how to get in my deep sleep. And after that, they were renting all nearby rooms.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's
Huh.
crazy.
And then I just got a notification that I have a appointment in an hour. So we got about 54 minutes. So they changed my appointment from uh 1:30 to 1. You know, that's the stuff they do. That's an example of what they do. But we still have 50 minutes left.
Yes, I know.
Uh let me ask you this. There's been debate on whether or not they can hit you at an airport. I heard V2K at the airport. And I know I was stalked at the airport. Do you think it's possible?
Yes, definitely. Me as
I'm talking
well.
about like direct energy weapons.
Yes, there is the surveillance team is probably carrying these weapons. We have an example of these weapons from Karen, from the NSA whistleblower. There is a picture also of these neuro weapons. Uh, yes, and they carry them everywhere you go.
Wow. Because I'm convinced what happened in 2022 was a direct energy weapon attack when I was in the hospital for 45 days and fell out at the airport. So, so do you get
Did you see?
B2K?
Yes, I was having it for 10 years and then it stopped.
Wow. But yeah, it stopped, but you're still getting hit with all the other stuff and the stalking and et cetera, right?
Yes, deep sleep, home invasions, dream manipulation, remote neural monitoring. But the VTK stopped after 10 years. I don't know why.
Wow. Well, maybe they moved on. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend to know the answer to that one. Um,
Maybe it wasn't effective. Who knows? Because
right. Well, see,
the
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
the purpose of the VTK is you go to the psychiatrist and you tell this, and he locks you up to a mental institution immediately. It's in the DSM. If you hear voices, you're definitely paranoid schizophrenic, according to them. So it's the best way to lock you up at a mental institution with this.
Right. Yep. That makes sense. And I really think the um psychiatry is all a fraud.
Definitely. All the DSM is like, gaslighting of targeted individuals. That's
Right.
what DSM is.
I'm trying to think. So can you explain the direct energy attacks you experience?
Right now, during sleep mainly, well, when I wake up, it's like I'm always sick. Also, I feel dream manipulation and attacks during sleep. But they might also get in my sleep. I'm not sure. But as you never know.
Right. Did you when you were first being stalked, um, like you said you were stalked very heavily, could you kind of explain some stuff that happened during that time? Like one time, I'm not gonna lie, I was didn't know I didn't know much about this. Well, I didn't know nothing about it at the time, and I was being stalked, and this memory came back to me a couple weeks ago. So I'm not gonna say the town I was in, but anyway, so I'm in this nice neighborhood walking and being stalked, and it's like 1 in the morning, and I see three cars parked in front of a house, and my foot was so bad. I mean, everybody was telling me for days to go to the hospital, but I didn't trust hospitals, so I didn't go. And I had this hole basically worn in my foot, and I was tired and exhausted. So I could tell the van wasn't in use, but it was beside a car and another car and in for somebody's driveway. And I was so desperate just to get some rest. Uh, I made sure that I wasn't in eyesight of nobody stalking me. Like, you can hit corners and stuff real quick. And I ran and jumped in that van and laid down and just went to sleep. And I heard them. I stayed in the van floorboard, but I didn't care. I just needed rest. So then I heard them get in the car and leave, and I left about 2 in the afternoon. I stayed in that van sleeping, just getting rest. Then I went. Then God sent some. I believe the Most High. I don't know if you're spiritual, what your beliefs are. Anyway, the Most High sent somebody at the shelter that week that let me hang out with them all week and helped me with Neosporin, helped me with alcohol, and helped me doctor my foot back together. It took about 2 weeks. So, and they were making fun of me and my foot and bullying me because I couldn't get in the shower. I couldn't get in the shower properly, and I was taking too long to get up the steps, and they were behind me. Everybody at the shelter was, but this dude was like a good Samaritan. He watched out for me and made sure that I stayed off my foot for 2 weeks till it healed.
Yes, I experienced also very aggressive, overt stalking for 20 years. And the team is very large. It could be even 10 to 15 cars in the surveillance team. Because I'm driving fast, uh, usually trying to avoid them, but it's impossible. Also, if you get a bus or a train, I was taking a train. I was sitting near the door of the train, so I'm getting out at a random station the last time. So you don't know which station I'm going. They didn't know which station I was going. It was random. I took off the train the last time and to get a taxi, and all taxis were notified immediately. They're using even the all the public infrastructure is part of this, and even taxis. So if you go out of a station, get a taxi, all taxi drivers are notified, waiting for you. It's crazy. This is done. What I imagine about this is a control panel stalker who is notifying a team of stalkers.
I
That's
think
that's what I experience.
yeah, I did a did a video on leapfrog tactics, and uh man, it was a long time ago, but it was showed how uh they use the same model as the police and the Fed and the FBI and stuff, the way they do surveillance. And I broke it
Yes,
down. It was one of my early videos before I really started doing interviews. I think I forgot the name of the video, but it explained it very good on how they do the car stuff.
yes, but this is run by the police. This is organized by the police, um, and I'm talking about absolutely no criminal record. Never hurt anyone. I was hunted like the worst terrorist. This is
Right.
done.
And
This
you
is
have
done
no
with.
idea why they might. I may. Do you think maybe? Well, you think maybe there's no rhyme or reason. You're just pretty much an experiment, right?
Yes,
Will you
and
elaborate on what you were saying before we started recording about how they have to have experiments and you know what you were telling me before?
yes, uh, I was trying through my research to find who is the source of targeting, who is doing this and why. So my research is showing that, as I was telling you, big tech has merged with big pharma for transhumanism. They have enormous power. They can kill presidents two the richest companies in the world right now are big tech. It's Alphabet, Facebook, Apple. So these richest companies in the world have merged with big pharma, who are extremely rich, and they have made an industry, let's say, of lab rats, human experimentation. They pick targets from all walks of life, rich, poor, everyone, and from all countries in the world. So they have the power to put you on a terrorist list.
Right.
They can even target politicians.
Right. And if you sue companies that you work for, the company has the power to do it too.
Yes, I wasn't a whistleblower.
Right. I'm just saying, like people, people who get lawsuits on people, the first thing them companies do sometimes is turn around and put their surveillance and the psyops on people to make them where, they lose the lawsuit.
Who knows? But what we know from the Ted Kaczynski story, he was an MK Ultra experiment, the Unabomber. He was targeted because he was a genius. That was the reason they were targeting them. They were targeting him. He was a mathematical genius. So they enrolled him to be a test subject. That was the reason.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? You are very clever. They put you on the list.
Right. But the point you made, one point I was trying you made before we talked is people are not going to volunteer for these experiments, so they have to do them some way.
Exactly. Or
What do you think the solution is to this? Or do you think
first
there
step,
is one?
the first steps is having safe sleep, and then trying to get rid of the nanotech. It's not very easy. Then, of course, if you have from the Kathy, the only person I know who got away from this is Kathy O'Brien. She knew Bill Clinton when he was president, right? And he wanted to help her. She was very pretty, and we have an MK Ultra handler testifying for her in court.
All right.
So this is the most successful story we have. So if you have possibly a politician or a president, if he wants to help you, might get you off the list.
See, I
But
think
very, very high-ranking political figure, like the president of the United States, the prime minister of your country.
right. What? Oh, to cut the technology off because I think everybody's hooked up at this point. They haven't been activated. You see?
Yes, I know. And they
Right.
could target the prime minister as well. They could target Trump. Trump was a target.
Um, when you say Trump is a target, are you talking about on like how they try to destroy him court-wise?
Yes, when they stole the election,
Okay.
uh, he was targeted. And not only him, but all the people who stormed the Capitol were targeted, being put on the terrorist list, and they destroyed their lives.
Right.
And then Trump pardoned them, and they got them. He got the J6ers as far as I know off the list.
Right. Now that makes sense. So if he could, if so he, yeah, if he could do that for them, he could do it for us if he wanted.
Yes, but he has less power than big tech and big pharma combined.
Right.
So the first important step is not live alone, to have someone. The second big step is safe sleep. You're sure nobody gets in your sleep, 100%. If you are alone, then it might be wise to go off grid because you won't have neighbors.
Or do like Brian too does. He sleeps place to place.
What I've heard from I was
But they're
watching
still
a
attacking him
story.
everywhere he goes.
I know if you get an RV, they will follow the RV.
Right, and they also can set the stuff up when you're in the store or something, you know, and like uh rig it to target you too.
We have another example of off-grid living with another interview of yours. It's T.I. Sunshine.
Right.
Do you remember her? So what she decided was to live off-grid to avoid targeting, and I think it's better. It's better than living in the city. That's what I see from the Ti Sunshine also has a channel, has a YouTube. She has a YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, and it makes a lot more sense, especially it's about the stalking and stuff.
Yeah, she gets talking. If he goes to the grocery store, she gets talking. But she doesn't have the neighboring houses, because in these 20 years targeted, I've changed 7 houses and tried to migrate it to 4 countries. If you are in a urban setting, they will get all the surrounding houses. Your neighbors are perps.
You think that's always the case?
Oh, as far as my case is concerned, yes, definitely. I've changed 7 houses and they got everywhere. They got all
Right.
the houses everywhere. They're even buying houses in I was living at the most expensive suburb of Athens. The houses cost 2 or 3 million to get them. And they were buying these houses.
Wow.
It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
see, I think every case is different. I'm like, I definitely think if you're a real target, that your neighbors have possibly been notified about you as soon as you move in. Uh, Now I don't. I think some people don't have problem with neighbors. I know targets that don't have problem with neighbors, but I know a lot of targets that do. Um.
Yes.
So, but more people have problem with neighbors than don't.
Here in the island, I'm in an urban area. All my surrounding houses are involved.
No, I believe you.
Everyone. That's four houses around me. They synchronize with me when I go out. When I'm staying home, they're always home. They get paid. When I try to talk to them and make friends with them, they deny.
I believe that. And see, but they see that there's a see. I don't want to sit on there and say everybody's neighbors is in on it because I don't think that's the case. But I really, if you say your neighbors are in on it, I really believe they are. Because I believe
No,
I believe
nobody,
what people tell me, but for me to get on the show and tell everybody their neighbors are involved, that I don't think that's the case for everybody.
everybody's not targeted exactly the same way.
Right. That's what I
There
was
are
getting at.
variations of this program.
And they do that to keep us all confused because if I'm not experiencing the same thing you're experiencing and I'm new to this, then I'm going to question you and then, well, he's not experiencing this and this, and then I got it worse than him in this area. Well, he must not be real. And it just creates a mass confusion.
Yes, exactly. Someone might have only gang stalking.
Yep. And then that makes the people who get weapons attacks in V2K say, well, if he was a real target,
Yeah.
he would have more than gang stalking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because I know a lot of targets who just get gang stalking and they get questioned a lot because people don't understand this program is using a variety of different things on different people um, to cause confusion.
Yes. Also, the truth is so complicated. They might even they might don't know that they get in their sleep, for example, or they cannot imagine remote neural monitoring, but it exists.
Oh yeah, very much so. Let me ask you this: did you have a lot of friends and stuff before you were targeted, like family and
Yes.
stuff? Are you close to a lot of people? And if so, did they run smear campaigns on you? Do you know what they did to isolate you?
I know exactly what they did. The local police department is running this, and they were telling everybody because here is a rural area. Um, it's only 2,000 people, living in the island, and they have to tell an excuse. Why are you hunting this guy? And the only excuse they had was that I was a pedophile. So they were telling my cleaning lady. The cleaning lady came and told me that they were smearing me with the pedophile thing. The funny thing is that I was always with older women.
Wow. Yeah. See, they
It's a
they
complete
love.
lie.
Well, they know that people's going to turn vigilante when they hear that word.
Exactly. Yes. It works well. They're deceiving all the community watch thing.
Wow.
So when the police is after you and they are aggressive stalking you, and everybody knows, you lose almost everyone because most people trust the police. They are the authority figures, let's say. If you manage to get some friends, then they will uh, contact your friends or girlfriends and try to make them informants with an NDA. So you lose
Right.
them as well. You lose everyone. And after 20 years, you know, they know uh, they managed to get they know all my contacts, all the contacts I have. Well, I still have some contacts, relatives and stuff that they would help me. But after
Right.
20 years, the social circle is destroyed.
Right. Also, isolation, mind control is a lot more effective when you're isolated as well.
Yes, they want that. They want this, and what they want most is for the target to live alone.
Or homeless.
Yes. Uh, Unfortunately, most targets are either homeless uh, or committed suicide or they became shooters. Because if you don't want to live this life anymore, you might want to leave a message, let's say, to the society. But like Myron May and all these guys, uh, so they thought that, which is not right, that if they do something extreme, so maybe the society gets the message. But the authorities are doing, they censor their testimonies, so nobody knows. The society knows that he was a crazy person. He was on medication or something, or he was committed to a hospital. So everybody
See, that's
thinks,
why that's one reason I push. Don't go out and do no acts of violence. Don't destroy nobody's property. Don't play their game.
yes, but if you see in these stories that after the shooting, they commit suicide, most of them.
Right.
So they have already decided to take their lives, uh, but using what they did to leave a message, but it's failing.
We got about 15 more minutes. How do you cope with this on a day-to-day basis?
I told you the first thing is not to live alone. So I moved in
No,
with
I'm
my
at, oh, okay. All right. Never mind. You're talking about yourself. Okay.
I have a house of my own, but I moved with my father, so not to live alone. And of course to protect my father as well, because if they target you, uh, it's very likely they target the whole family, or your spouse is being targeted as well. So I did this to protect my father. So not live alone is the first most important step. Uh, so if you have someone, uh, it's better not to sleep at the same time, the same hours. So there's always someone awake at the house. Um, because if you and also never leave your house empty. It's a very good move. You have already done this move. You never leave your house. I know
Oh, yeah.
you are agoraphobic. This is a great move because if you leave your house, they get in your house.
Yep. And there's been time we all wanted to go do something together. Um, and I was like, well, and I and I was wanting to take a chance and get out. Um, you know, and then I was like, well, because every now and then I will try to attempt to fight this agoraphobic, go to the store or something, with Holly. But I was like, man, if I leave it alone, sure enough, they'll come in. So
Exactly.
if we do go to the store together, we do try to make sure, somebody's here. So,
Yes, that's a great move.
and that's hard because a lot of TIs don't have a situation like that. And
You
then if you
know,
go, and so it's kind of like uh, a catch-22 for people who are alone because then, if you order DoorDash or something, they might spit in your food or do anything like that.
exactly. I was having from the recordings I had from Deep Sleep. Uh, I recorded tampering foods. He was opening the refrigerator. He was spraying. He was spraying the foods, man. It was
Wow.
crazy. Really. Um, but anyway, the first thing for a target is to have a helping hand. Let's say a friend or something. Most targets try to fight this alone. It's impossible to fight this on your own. Or let's say if we see the Ted Kaczynski story, the genius from Harvard. then you have to go off grid, live in the woods or something. That's what Ted Kaczynski did.
Yeah, ain't that where they found him?
Yes, because he was so crazy, he was sending bombs. And they didn't find him. Actually, he wrote something. Then his brother recognized that it was his writing, and then they found him through his brother.
Oh, okay. But he was way in the woods when they found him, wasn't he? In the mountains.
Yes, yes, yeah, in the
Yeah.
mountain. Another thing for TI is if the problem is in the TI community, nobody trusts no one. No, if you pass through this aggressive stalking, the honeypots, it's very difficult to trust a person. But if the TIs come together and create communities, let's say, of off-grid living or growing our own food, something, then targeting would be easily beaten.
Yeah, that makes sense. But see, man, they send so many infiltrators and people who will get close to you and learn everything about, and then turn, and then go try to turn everybody against you and claim you did this, claim you did that. Um,
I know very
man,
well.
this it's highly infiltrated.
I know. And of course, if they will try to infiltrate every targeting community there is.
But
But
I'm
what
one
I'm
that believes nothing is impossible, though. But maybe it is. Maybe I'm just a dreamer or something. There's
targets
got to be an
come
answer.
together. Also, most targets are isolated. If you see the YouTube channels, most of them are fighting this alone. So why not make friends together and fight this together? I don't understand this.
That's what I tell targets. If you're going to have a life, you have to take chances. You
Yes,
have to take a
exactly.
chance to be betrayed, or you're going to be isolated and targeted to hell and back. Um, also, I've told many targets, and I've had YouTube channels uh get mad and say, "Well, he's a perp. Look at all them views he's getting." I've had my T. I started out under a bridge. I've had my YouTube channel 3 years, and I told people how to beat the YouTube algorithm. You can't just do a video. Okay, another tip too is when you're uploading a video, you upload it to unlisted. You wait 30 minutes after it's uploaded to unlisted, then you upload it to public. Then it's met the AI checks and stuff, and then you get more views that way. But to beat the YouTube algorithm, you have to post your links elsewhere to be seen. That
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
spent hours upon hours my first 2 years posting my links everywhere to get my
yeah,
videos seen.
Facebook groups, etc.
Yeah. And
I
nobody wants to
find-
take my advice, but they want to criticize the
Your contribution is, I think, is the best in the TI community. You have all my respect for your work, man.
Well, thanks. I try, man. And it's only possible because the Most High, and I just try.
Also, what you say about the Most High, this is exactly what I believe. The Most High. Religion is another myth they're telling us. We don't know what is this Most High.
Well, when I say Most High, I'm referring, David referred to him as the Most High in Psalms. Um, and I believe in Yeshua and all that, but I don't follow like you got Pentecostal Baptists. I'm a follower of Christ in the Bible, but I don't follow it the way Pentecostals might, or you know what I'm saying? It said it's study to show yourself approved.
Yes, the story of Christ is the best book ever written. The thing is that it's, uh, if you study alternative history, you see all the history we've learned is lies. There was a great advanced civilization which is in front of our eyes and we can't see. Also, there was a cataclysmic event. The previous civilization was more advanced than we are.
I can believe
Uh,
that.
so, that uh, do not coincide with the Christ story. They were not in the days of Jesus. Let's say they were not primitive. They might be not primitive. On
Right.
the other hand,
Well, one thing
on,
we can't agree on, right, is that's my belief, and I respect yours, and I hope you respect me, even though, that's just my belief. I can't change my belief in the Bible. And I hope
uh,
you respect that.
it's a great book. It's a great book. The thing is, also another question I have is, only the Bible talks about the cataclysmic event. I'm telling you, it's the only book telling about this.
Right.
Uh, but anyway, also in the Old Testament, we get a different version of God than Christ. In the Old Testament, God is a little bit brutal.
Right.
He
There were
demands
two
too much.
covenants, though. That's why he sent Yeshua, is because he made a second covenant because uh, the law, men lived under condemnation through the law. So this is the way I believe, when God sent Yeshua and it made a second covenant with men where they didn't have to live under condemnation, it was grace, unmerited favor. But hey, like I said, I respect your beliefs, you can, I'm not going to keep you from talking about them on here. But,
Yeah, I've also respecting yours. But what my point is, the story of Christ is the greatest book ever written. But we might not know everything about the Most High, or
right.
they might have hidden a lot of information from
Oh
us.
yeah, I agree with that. Especially, the book of, there was like, I think I read, because I read the lost books of the Bible too, and the books that were left out. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, they
Yes.
left a lot of stuff out, and then there's probably even stuff that they left out that we don't even know about.
Yes, and they also maybe manipulated stuff, changed stuff.
Right. And I can believe that too. Like in the Bible where it says slaves obey your masters. Um, I think maybe that, I've heard that was manipulated. Um, that was one of the things that were manipulated.
What we have is a Bible written by a king. King George was the last one who edited the Bible. You know about this?
You talking
Anyway,
about
yes, the religion here is a
the
huge.
Council of Nicaea?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely know there's a lot more books in 66 in the Bible. And Enoch was a major one left out. And if you read Enoch, Enoch talks about fallen angels coming and showing man how to make weapons of war, fire, and shows them how to make technology. Uh, so I do believe
Exactly.
it's possible that, you know, and the ideas of technology and stuff right here are being put into people's heads by the fallen angels and stuff behind the scenes.
Yes, exactly. We believe the same.
Right.
But if you see all these old structures, the previous civilization was very advanced, maybe more advanced than we are.
Definitely. And they try to hide that from us.
Exactly.
That's why
And
all them
also,
giants found in America that went to the Smithsonian are not in the
yes,
Smithsonian anymore.
exactly. Exactly, my friend.
Yeah, see, I'm very open-minded, and that's why I don't, I study to show myself approved and try to, uh, I try to read the 1611 King James Version, and then also, like I said, read the lost books of the Bible and the books that were left out.
Yeah, it's a great job.
Because I feel
Anyway,
like,
we have
religion, is man-made traditions, and see, I'm not talking about the Bible when I'm saying religion. But I'm talking about how, like, some religions, some churches, and I don't believe uh God's in a box that you go to on Sunday. I believe followers of Christ are the church. They make up the church, you know?
exactly.
Yeah. Because, I went to a church when I was a kid where if it was a Church of Christ and you weren't allowed to dance, and all they read was the New Testament. And there was other stuff. Oh yeah, you wasn't allowed to play music in the church. You had to sing without music. So different stuff like that, different, and that keeps everybody divided.
Exactly. That is the purpose of this multi-religion scene, to keep everyone divided.
Right. We got about 9 minutes. Do you have anything else? I would like to invite you to come back and talk about some more stuff if you would like in the next couple weeks because I feel like we didn't cover near as much as we could have. I feel like
Definitely,
you've definitely done your research.
I have a lot of things to say about my story. So I have you have all my respect in the TI community. I think I told you I've written this in my ex post that you are the best channel on YouTube about targeting right now.
Well, thanks. A lot of people don't
Well,
think that because I don't follow the uh, organizations and I'm not in the, I'm
there is no
independent. We're independent, but we try our best.
legal way out of this
Right.
anyway. So
But
going
cognitive dissonance has people where it's impossible for them to believe that, you know,
yes, yes, definitely.
because they're so
So
used to um, answering stuff by uh, well, they're so used to the system calling the system when they need help, that they don't realize the system's rigged where they're 3 steps ahead in the paperwork and I need to find the clip where Sabrina was explaining that. I don't agree with everything Sabrina says, but Sabrina does have a lot of knowledge and does bring a lot to the plate as far as targeting.
yes, it's the technological part of targeting. Let's say Sabrina, it's done great work. But I don't know how can we avoid this transhumanist nightmare, my friend. I'm thinking about this. Getting rid of implants and nanotechnology is very challenging. It's not
Right.
easy. There is a doctor I've sent you, Anna Maria Michalcia, who
Yeah,
is
I've
the,
seen her work.
yes, this doctor is the best right now. Also, there is a Tesla machine. Have you heard about it?
Uh-uh.
It's TZLA, Tesla. It's not like Tesla, the Elon Musk Tesla.
Oh, okay. Will you send me that too?
Yes, I will.
But I'm definitely gonna I'll probably let's see, I'm trying to think of my I might, well, I'm not gonna say it on here, but we'll schedule next week sometime too if you're available.
I'm always available for you. Also, what I have to say is you have to help targets. You have many targets in the States. to bring targets together
Right.
and
You
create
see, they're
community.
trying their best to create division with my subscribers right now. So, or well, I don't think it's having any effect, but you know, you got people are saying I'm a Christian covert narcissist, I'm a cult leader and all that. It's being
No
spread
way.
around about me and all that, and that's just not true. But it's being spread, you know.
This is
So if
crazy.
you have any ideas on how, please email me if you have any ideas on how we could go about to try to bring targets together. You know, how to
For
navigate
example,
infiltration and stuff.
I'm giving you an example. Let's say that you want to come to Greece. You know, we're very far away. If you want to come to Greece, I'm here for you. If you want to come to Greece alone, you have no one, you know, you want to be alone here. You have someone to be with you, to protect you, to help you. That's very important.
Right. Well, hey, I have to, unfortunately, as soon as we started the interview, I get this call and then I get a voice message that says that my appointment has changed until about 10 minutes from now. So, uh, you know, that's how it goes. So that's why I said I want to schedule you again because I feel like we could have went further with this conversation. And I apologize for the inconvenience.
No problem at all, my friend. I can see you anytime you are available.
All right, that's great. And you know, are is your see I can see you're heavily shadow banned on X as well. Did you get my comment yesterday?
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
did.
all right. I was making sure. All right, I'm just trying to figure out ways I can, you know, in case they're doing something with the email or sometimes they do that stuff. You know, I
All
just
all
got
co- all communications are compromised.
right. I just
All.
got some a viewer was mad and emailed me and said you deleted my comment. I didn't delete it. I didn't delete this person's comment, you know, so you know, they're playing all types of games.
Yes, exactly. To
But
divide.
right. Well, hey, I thank you for coming out, and I'm gonna it may be a minute before I post this because I have an appointment to go to, but I will post this right after I get done with my appointment, and I will be in touch, man. I have much respect for you because you've actually done your research, and know a lot about this stuff, and
It
are
was
able to
really
see through a
nice.
lot of veils.
It was really nice talking to you, man, and all my respect again.
The same to you, man. I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you.
recording now, and we can say our goodbyes.